Straight off. Close. Yep. Yep.
Perfect. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen that are tuning in this fine Sunday morning to watch the playoffs of the Saskatchewan Men's Tour Player Championship here in Swift Current. We're ironing out some technical bugs and issues, but I think we got things under control. You are stuck with myself, Chris Heichert, and my partner in crime here doing commentary, Mark Larson. Why don't you say hello, Mark?
Morning, everybody.
So just a brief recap. We are commentating here for the game you're watching, Hartung versus Jacobson. Other games we have out on the ice in the quarterfinals here are Max Kirkpatrick versus Ryan Dice, Ben Gamble versus Sean Meacham, and Rylan Kleider versus Kelly Knapp. We're getting to you a little bit late here. We're just firing up the second end here. And it looks like Jacobson popped Hartung for a deuce early. Larson, were you watching, or were we busy trying to figure out the technical stuff here? Did you see what happened in the first end?
Kody had a hack to board weight shot that curled a little too much for him. So it was a steal of two for Jacobson in the first end.
Team Jacobson out here, I noticed, curling without their skipper, Jason Jacobson. Sounds like he might be down and out with a bit of a cold or a flu bug back in Saskatoon. So did the right thing. If you're not feeling well, he decided to just stay home. But if you've ever seen him throw an intern, that might have been the best thing he could have did for his team this weekend.
Looks like Kody's just trying to play a back line shot on the rock on the center line here to try and split it and get it behind, get the shooter behind the corner guards, but it doesn't look like it's going to curl enough for him.
That red one in the top 4 foot's kind of lost behind that mess in the middle. Team Hartung rolling through the A event side and had majority of the day off yesterday. There's a little dust they need to blow off here before they're nice and sharp. Kaltov battled his way through the C event.
Going to be pretty messy on the center line here. Kody will probably have to double peel those reds, and it might send that yellow one straight back if he hits it right, but
the Razorback, Jaden Schwaga here, he's a big, strong boy. He can throw some of the big weight with the best of them, so I'm sure we're about to see it here.
probably wants.
So it's been working really good. Yours just froze, so I can't hear anymore, but that's all been working really good, so you might have to refresh that. Keltoff looking for the soft weight, hit and roll behind cover. Mark, back in your competitive playing days, you have a history with this team, Hartung. You played with them for a few years, did you not?
Yeah, played a couple years with them. Third season, if you include the pandemic shortened season, but I started playing with them in the fall of 2018. Definitely a good group of guys to curl with. They're some of the best around, so they made my job playing lead pretty easy, but we never seem to be able to get over the hump and win the real big one.
Team Jacobson has to be careful here. I believe a nose hit. We're getting into the territory where there's going to be a red double there, so it might be strategic to get a roll on this rock.
I would think he'd be trying to roll this underneath the red one, biting the top of the forefoot.
Great shot by there, Jake Hersicorn.
If you want to talk about another guy that likes to throw the high, hard one, Kody's younger brother Tyler's gonna be throwing some peel weight at this one. Pretty important to try and stick the one that you're running in here if you could.
Great to see all the top teams out here, and looking across the sheet, you see local Swift Current legend Max Kirkpatrick and his team of geriatrics, senior curling team over on sheet 4, battling it out, and they qualified last night with a big win over Jesse St. John. It was a no-doubter last night in the C event qualifier. Keltoff here trying to tuck a little piece around his center guard and act as another guard as well for his one on the pin.
Ice has been really good here in Swift Current all weekend. These types of shots are curling nice. They'll hold for quite a while and break late. Might be a little heavy on this one. Might coming right to his red one. A little heavy and a bounce off, so that's going to give Kody a chance to punch that out the back and maybe roll on top of the red one on the tee line.
For you viewers at home, you have the overhead view. It looks like Hartung can get shot rock if he hits it on the nose. Kind of hangs it on the corner of the red one there would be ideal. But very precise shot. Can't afford to roll too far either way.
Definitely doesn't have very much room to roll here. Close though.
Oh, the boys aren't going to be happy with that one. They had that puppy made. And just
Yeah,
a
that
slight,
made all day.
yeah, slight misjudgment in the sweep there, and not complete disaster though. With that yellow rock up top there, there's still a chance for a multiple score here, but you just made it a lot tougher.
Kaltoff will probably look to throw the guard here. It's a fairly simple run back for 2. If the guard isn't made, his best guard might be maybe trying to come in for a third shot on a freeze, but that could also bring a 3-ender into play.
It's so easy, we have to take it. But I can't think of anything.
Oh, big shout out to Jason Broughton, the head ice maker here at the Swift Current Curling Club. He has treated every curler who's gotten the opportunity to throw rocks here in Swift just to a treat. We have some of the best ice here in Saskatchewan. We have excellent speed, a lot of great curling, very consistent, and we typically hear great reviews from some of these top level teams on the quality and condition of the ice. So shout out to him and his team for what they do here for us in Swift Current.
I think we just have to try to guard the 3. There. So let's try to guard the 3, and if we guard an inch of the 7, it's a perfect shot.
What are your thoughts on this shot, Chris? Do you like the halfway guard?
Well, you know, there's a reason I'm not out there curling today, and I'm sitting up here drinking coffee on the microphone. So, but if I had to say, I think I'm throwing a guard on that yellow rock, and I'm crossing my fingers that he decides to draw the button for his one.
I think that's the safest shot for sure. Widest margin of error for sure.
Ideally, just on the top of the W in Winmar is
Backy!
the Duke of Borkeltoff here wants to stop this stone.
laid a brush to this one yet. Weight looks to be okay now. Matter of getting it to curl enough.
That's a pretty nice shot by Dustin Kaltoff, exactly where he wanted it, and I think it does the trick. Now for Team Hartung, it boils down to the old risk versus reward. Do you take a crack at running that yellow one back for 3? You draw for your 1 here, Mark.
Having curled with Kody as long as I have, he'll give the yellow run back a good look. I think that's what he's going to go with. Can't throw it too hard to be able to stick the yellow guard running into the rings. He wouldn't be able to throw more than probably normal takeout weight. A nose hit would get him 3.
Not a lot of margin for error on this one.
Has to be right on the nose. Might not even throw normal. It might be less weight than that. That one is
long gone.
Might have to try and make it the other way now, maybe.
Alrighty, and she's won for Team Jacobson to go up 3-0 after 2 ends of play here down in Swift Current, Saskatchewan in the Saskatchewan Men's Tour Player Championship.
Saskatchewan, you know SaskTel, because we're everywhere, keeping you connected to your family and friends, to your history and culture, to those traditions that make us who we are. SaskTel cares, always has, always will, because we're dedicated to our home.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Oh, you leave it, we'll go over. Oh, okay, fine.
Well, welcome back, folks. Kicking off the third end here, and a 3-0 lead for Team Jacobson. I think Kody Hartung is going to want to look to get a lot of rocks in play here and hopefully get on the scoreboard with a couple points. And in typical fashion, top 4 foot with the first one, corner guard goes up, and then a nice tight center, and she's go time. Looking across the sheets, it is a 4-0 lead for Team Dice over Team Max Kirkpatrick. Sean Meacham's up a few on Ben Gamble. Kelly Knapp with a 3-0 lead over Team Kleider. Mark, I noticed quite a few teams this weekend were playing with 3 curlers. Kleider's only got 3. Gamble's curling with 3 this game. Meacham played his first game with 3. And Team Jacobson here with 3 as well. So what's the reason behind that with a lot of these teams?
Well, I think there was some COVID-related issues that prevented some of the teams fielding their full team, but I know at the same time there were some holiday issues in there too. If I pick on the Meacham team, I talked to Brady Sharback earlier in the week, and he said he wasn't able to go because he was out of holiday time. So different reasons for every team, but I don't know. Some of these teams, they seem to do quite well with just 3 guys. I remember the provincial in Kindersley a few years ago when Brent Geddick's team played with 3 the whole week, and they ended up making the playoffs, and that wouldn't have been a normal situation.
Well, I'm going to have to slightly correct you on that one. They played with 3 after their first 2 games because they had super spare. Chris Heichert playing the first 2 games.
You were there. Well, I didn't show up until Friday, so I guess I wouldn't have known that part.
Well, we lost them both, so they sent me packing, and they went on a deep-sea event run.
Yeah, it might not have taken too long to figure out where the problem with that team lied.
You know, they were, who were they missing at the time? They were down a curler anyways, and I had my firefighter provincials that weekend, so I could only commit to the first day or 2 with them. I think we had 1-1 lost, 1-1-1. We laid a royal beating on Brad Height. If my memory serves, those are always fun to remember. But you're right; they kind of heated up when they played with 3, and they made a run for sure, making the playoffs. Oh, we got rocks in play here this end, so Team Jacobson doing a good job to keep the pressure on with keeping his rocks in good positions in the front.
Cody's asking Jaden Schwaga to freeze to a rock top 4 foot here. A little spicy right now. Can't really afford to bounce this because it looks like there might be a way for a couple of those yellow ones to disappear.
Quarter rock is perfect. Quarter or even thinner.
I don't have a view of the overhead here, but it looks like half rock is the chance that 3 of them lemons could disappear here on this shot.
If he hits this right, I think all 3 of them could go off the back side of the yellow in the top 8 foot.
Come on! Right up!
It's 2 of them.
No, pretty proud of all the curlers here in Swift Current, but in general in the sport of curling. You see players wearing masks. I constantly see people washing their hands, doing their best to social distance. The Swift Current Curling Club here, we are checking vaccinations, doing everything we can to make sure that all the people inside our facility and all the curlers remain safe and healthy so they can compete and we're able to get through some of these events in these challenging times. Razorback with the heavy scrub here. Just haired that one, top 4. What's your take, Mark? The boys just seem to be a hair off this morning. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, sometimes they had most of the day off yesterday. Sometimes the best thing is to keep playing. I don't think anybody would ever say no to winning 3 in a row and qualifying out of the A event, but if you think about what Kaltoff and Jake and Quinn had to do yesterday, they were on the ice right pretty much all day yesterday. So sometimes you stay sharp just by playing games. The Hartung team definitely don't have their best today, but still a ways to go. There's time for them to come back, but they definitely have to start making a few more shots.
Looks like Tyler might be eyeing up that port, and if you get through the port, I believe it should make the double for you, hey?
It might make the double. I don't know if he can quite hit it thick enough. Got to get pretty close to the yellow guard to make this double, I think. If you get too close to the red, I don't think you make it. Did make it. That's a great shot from Tyler.
Jeez, that's a real good shot.
I couldn't quite tell from the angle I have here if that would catch that yellow on the top, or the red on the top of the 4-foot or not, but obviously it did. It's now a double attempt back for Kaltoff. He's another guy that likes to throw the up weight, throws it well.
And he just gets the one, leaving Team Hartung lying 1. I think you'll see Kody try to wrap one around to the top 4 here. Looking across the seat sheets, them old fossils, Team Kirkpatrick, are looking to battle back, down 4-0 to Team Ryan Dice. I know them boys have been going through a boatload of Advil this weekend. Rub A535, cold ice packs, plenty of whiskey. Weight looks good here. I have to do some curling here to get fully tucked.
Starting to curl now. Could get all the way behind the red. Might be able to see a sliver of it on the intern side. Enough for a soft weight shot.
Just a teaser, they call that, yeah. Sure nice having big ponies in the front end like Hartung has here. The old Razorback, he's one of the best there. That boy puts a lot of pressure down on that poor brush.
I remember the first year that we curled together, he broke It was our first event of the year, and he broke a broom just from the pressure that he was putting on it in Portage La Prairie.
The silverback, rumor has it that boy likes eating whoppers. But who doesn't like eating whoppers?
He was very happy there was extra food for the Subway lunch yesterday. Normally all the players are invited to a luncheon at the Elmwood golf club that they host that at?
That's correct. Yeah, Jeff Chambers offers up the Elmwood Golf Course, a beautiful clubhouse. They typically host their AGM team meeting and have a nice little luncheon there. And just due to COVID and the gatherings, again, the Saskatchewan men's curling tour doing their best to do what they can to limit gatherings, and they decided to cancel that this year. Big shout out and thank you to Team Max Kirkpatrick's third, Scott Rumpel. He hooked us all up with 64 Subway sandwiches for the boys to eat yesterday. And I think the silverback had his share and more.
He definitely had my share and your share.
Well, Keltoff does the trick. I don't know if that's how he was playing it, but the goal was to get rid of one, and he did just that. So it'll be a wide open draw for Kody for his deuce here.
It's an important one to make to get back in the game. Down one after 3. Same shot that he threw on his first one, so he should know the path okay. Was on that one pretty early out of Kody's hand. Now they're both on it. Not heavy by any means. And comes up quite a bit light.
So it'll be one for Hartung here in the third end. The Saskatchewan Men's Curling Tour Players Championships.
Asham Curling Supply.
Superior fit, comfort, and performance. Asham curling shoes are the best we've ever used.
Hi folks, I'm Arnold Asham, and our product is always satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. Asham Curling Supplies.
That's your best delivery of the day.
What if you could unlock more from your kids growing up by earning rewards points when using your debit card? That's RBC Vantage. Get $300 when you switch to RBC.
Cooperatives have been part of Western Canada for generations. We've seen a lot of good years together and a few tough ones. But we never stop moving forward, doing the work, seeding the future. And right now, 160 co-ops and 500 communities are doing just that. We are a different kind of business. We are Western Canadian. We are co-op.
Needed that 4-ender tonight, yeah.
He needed it.
Well, we're back, folks, and Team Hartung here finding themselves down 2 without playing the 4th end, and Is it time mark that they start to panic, or still try to get your force, take your deuces? There's still plenty of game left to get back in this.
Still plenty of game left. I think they'll probably go pretty hard for a steal here, but I don't think they'd be upset just with a soft force either. Only the fourth end. It is only 8 end games here.
Looking across the sheets, doing some scoreboard watching. Kleider bounced back with a 2 in the third end. Kelly Knapp leads 3-2 after 3 ends of play. Max Kirkpatrick with a big deuce on Ryan Dice. Dice is up 4-2 after 3 ends of play. And Meacham has the pedal to the wall. He stole 2 in the second. Sorry, stole 2 in the first, stole 1 in the second.
It looks like he's got 2 or 3 in the forefoot there too, so looking like it might be another steal for him in the third end.
Ben Gamble there. He before the game, his knee was really bugging him. He made the decision not to curl here in the quarterfinal just due to an injury. So Team Gamble going 3-handed out there in this quarterfinal.
Good rock from Quinn Hersekorn there. You don't want that too deep. Don't want it too high either to act as another guard, but force Kody to play the wide out turn with Jaden's first one here.
I remember my old man telling me a story one time when he was curling in a spiel, and I can't remember if it was Eugene Ritzik or Rick Folk. They got that just before the game. Rick Folk or Eugene, whoever it was practice sliding, and my old man asked if they were going to need help getting out of the hack just because they were so old, and he said that was a big mistake. That team went on to beat him about 9-1 in 4 ends. So he said he'll never make that mistake again. And I learned that valuable lesson last night when I seen Team Kirkpatrick and the boys roll in for their first game. I had asked them, I said, boys, you lost. This isn't a senior men's box meal. Well, that came back to bite me last night in the C qualifier. They absolutely pumped us to qualify and sent Team St. John packing. Lesson to be learned there.
It's never a good idea to anger the veteran.
Unlikely, possible, but very unlikely. You'd have to hit it like paper thin. Not terrible. They're obviously gonna. They may not even hit this. They may go.
Hartung team looks to be fighting draw weight quite a bit this morning. That's the second or third one that's come up quite a bit short of what they'd intended.
Team Hartung has plenty of guards out. Kaltoff looking to remove a couple of them.
Yep! Hard! Right up! Right up! Right up!
Ah, that's a decent shot by Quinn. Cleared a couple of them out of the way in the front.
Provides a little bit of a stagger for Kody here, so he'll be able to get around that with the in-turn into the forefoot. definitely looks a little heavier, getting fairly tight on line.
Geez, I see them clearing women and children out of the way in the back, so look out, folks. This one's coming in hot. The silverback ain't going to be happy with that one. Maybe a bit of a whopper hangover caused him to throw that one a little heavy, or do you just think he found a quick spot out there and slipped her through?
As far as I know, he didn't have any whoppers yesterday, but with the amount that guy can eat, there's no telling what he ended up eating all of yesterday, so definitely could be the case. There would be very few curlers that could put away as much food as Jaden Schwaga.
Everybody hard, come on! Push, go!
He curled an event with us there a couple years ago, Chris, and I think you saw it firsthand.
Oh, it blew my mind. We sat down at Humpty's and he ordered not one, not two, but 3 meals off the menu. And proceeded to down them all down the hatch for fun.
And I think it was that weekend we made the decision that the team account couldn't afford to pay for his diet.
Little hit and roll here for Ty.
As close to nose as he can.
Big meet up, 4-1 with the hammer over Team Gamble. You know, I'd like to give a big shout out to Jerry Gertz, his curling stadium crew, John Benton, Rory McCusker, James Gordon. Still always learning some of the capabilities with this new curling stadium setup. And we've just been treated, curlers around the world have been treated to being able to watch some of the best curling through the live stream here in the Swift Current. It's kind of neat to see how things have evolved and changed. Kind of at any point you can turn your computer on and take this weekend, for example. We're watching this event here. We've got provincials in BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan. You can tune in anywhere and get your fix of curling. So it's kind of neat how the technology has evolved. And the SaskTel Curling Stadium here in Swift Current is a big piece to that.
Down to the last third stone here in the fourth end. Jake Hirschkorn looking to make a nose hit. Maybe roll under just a bit. Doesn't want to roll too much to give a double center for Kody, but forcing Kody to draw to the 4-foot under cover.
So that top red one is in, Mark. Why wouldn't you hit that one? Why would you come around this with a draw?
Well, I think what Cody's going to be looking to do is force Dustin Kaltoff into chasing him into the 4-foot. Most likely you'll see Kaltoff probably run his red one straight back if Cody's draw is made properly. If he hits the red one on the nose, Dustin would either peel that one off, Kody would draw again, and because that top yellow guard is so long, it'd be very difficult to bury it without leaving Dustin a chance to blank the end. So down 2 without last rock in the 4th end, Kody doesn't really have a choice other than to get a little bit aggressive here. This is pretty close to the same spot that Jaden was quite heavy on his draw. This might be a faster spot on the sheet. This one also looks like it has plenty of weight. Starting to come in now.
Stops back 8 foot, dead buried. Team Hartung line 1.
That's an interesting spot for that rock. If the rock was in the top of the 4 foot, you'd probably see Dustin run his tight red one back onto it. But now that it's slipped to the back of the 8 foot, you might see Dustin still play that shot. You also might see him draw to the top of the 4 foot and generate a skips deuce.
Somebody should explain to my skip, Jesse St. John, just exactly what a skips deuce is.
Sometimes that's why they pay the skip the big bucks to generate 2 all on his own.
Well, then, in all fairness to my skip, Jesse St. John, he's not getting paid the big bucks, so that's maybe why we're not seeing the skip deuces out of him.
It might be time to renegotiate that contract in the off season then.
Keltoff looking for top 4 foot.
You wouldn't want to come to the back yellow one. That would leave Kody the chance to freeze again. Ideally, top 4 foot, maybe biting the button. Wouldn't want it to be any deeper than that. If he comes right full button, that's going to leave Kody a chance to freeze and force Kaltoff probably into 1. It'd be very difficult to get 2. It's going to slide a little deeper than he'd wanted. So that'll leave Kody a chance to freeze, cover the pin. Has to be sure he gets the angle right here too, Chris.
Yeah, that run back you talked about is always an option, and it's there depending on where this rock stops.
I think he'd want to make sure if he could ever get right to the nose of that red one on the back of the button, maybe even over curl it by an inch. That would be his best angle.
Silverback's on her early. The boy's putting a heavy scrub on here. You gotta make sure you're there.
Definitely has to be there. Dragging it a long way. That's a great sweep by the guys. End to end on that one. But as we talked about, this will leave Dustin a chance to blast everything out, maybe count 2.
And you know what? A shot like this is right up Dustin Kaltoff's alley. He likes that out turn. He throws the big weight precision with the best of them. This one looks like she's a just off nose, no doubter for repair.
I think just off nose, 3/4. That red one in the back of the forefoot wouldn't go anywhere. You just jam on the back yellow. Should be able to stick the shooter to get his 2.
I always like these shots when this is the only shot. You hate to play difficult shots like this when there's other options out there, maybe easier options out there. But in this situation, Dustin Keltoff really has no other options to score. This is his only shot, and I think you'll see him real close on this one.
I would agree. Dustin likes to throw these, and he throws them well. I would expect this to be very, very close as well. But a little full to the broom on that one. Drives it past.
Drives it past, and it's a great big steal for Team Hartung. 3-2 after 4 ends of play here in Swift Current.
With SaskTel sponsorships, we get to be a part of your community. SaskTel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sastel.com/sponsorships.
Hi, this is Dustin Keltoff with Saskatoon Auto Connection, the mechanics you can trust. Come on, let's go for a tour through our Auto Care Service Center. We have great people and some of the best, most award-winning technicians in Saskatchewan. We have state-of-the-art equipment and tools, and we have a shuttle van and courtesy vehicles for your convenience. We also do remote starts. So call us today and we'll do a double takeout and get it done while you're in for an oil change.
A co-op is not a building. It's not a grocery store. It's not a gas station. A co-op is a group of people who come together to build up their community, to help their neighbors, to make a difference. And so, they start local businesses that are member-owned, businesses that give back. Western Canadian co-ops have been quietly doing it this way for more than 100 years. Well, it's time to speak up. It's time to celebrate. And it's time to see that there is another way. An alternative to big businesses that ship their profits out of Canadian communities. An alternative that is built for everyone. An alternative that is built on Canadian values. We are a different kind of business. We are member-owned. We are co-op.
So the difference is, Infinet gives us a direct fiber optic connection. Therefore, we have lots of capacity to deliver every packet. And Optimum in-home Wi-Fi uses band steering to deliver consistent performance in every room. That, combined with the bandwidth of Infinet, means that we can have all...
Infinet is fast, it's consistent, and direct to our door.
Or 2.4 or 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi.
Enjoy the speed of Infinet with the coverage of Optimum in-home Wi-Fi.
Odell's the left.
Well, we're back here in Swift Current, watching the Jacobson-Hartung quarterfinal matchup of the Saskatchewan Men's Curling Tour Players Championship. And I'm not sure if you tuned in just in time, but Hartung team hogged one. That means a round of drinks for the boys upstairs in the bar, doesn't it, Mark?
Absolutely, it does.
But do they do a round of Whoppers, or how does that team go about hog rocks?
We might have to make that part of the deal. Since I came down to Swift Current with them, I think that'll be part of the conversation on the way home for sure. Normally, if somebody hogged one, that would be simply a round of drinks after the game, but And you got to keep the Silverback happy too. That might mean a stop at Burger King.
You know, Kendall won't be happy with that. He was trying to get a high guard up. And that puts them behind the 8 ball here in this end, but there is a red guard up, so they do have something they can work with to get a force here in the 5th end.
I didn't quite see Brady's attempt on the guard, if it picked and just came to a stop, or if it was just that light.
Quinn Hersicorn here asked to soft weight hit and possibly roll into the rings tonight too.
Definitely straightened that one out. I'm right behind the sheet. Looks like he's going to get a nice roll out of this, and his weight is okay. Rolled a little too far. I was hoping to stick that one at the 12 foot, but Kody will put the guard back now. Probably try and get them lined up as good as he can.
And I've never seen so many bald spots on grown men as I have this weekend, sitting upstairs looking down on all these curlers. Surely I don't have a bald spot like that when I'm down on the ice, do I, Mark?
Well, you're wearing your toque all the time, so you hide it well.
I tell you what, I'm not sure you got too much room to be commenting on anybody's haircut.
That's definitely the case.
The old boys on sheet 4, Max Kirkpatrick is finding himself in a world of hurt here. Down a couple points. Down 4 points.
6-2.
And we're seeing a little bit of bowling going on here on sheet 5, Hartung Jacobson game. What's something that we can tell our viewers that they might find interesting about Team Hartung or Team Jacobson for that matter? The Hersicorn boys, I know they have some history in junior curling there, and they were quite successful. What was their claim to fame in juniors?
So Jake would have been skipping the Saskatchewan juniors. I don't quite remember what year it was, but his lead at the time, if I remember correctly, was the Hartung lead, Brady Kendall. I think that was maybe 2014 or 15. Guard slipped into the rings. I don't think that was the intended call.
But you know, I think it's lost behind that red corner guard, so it might turn out not too bad for Team Hartung.
Not a bad spot for it, that's for sure. They're going to throw something quiet at it to maybe see if they can chip it out in the open. And
Tyler Hartung, did he have some success in juniors?
Tyler skipped his junior team in 2014, I believe it was. They won the Saskatchewan junior that year. I think they were about 500, 6-6 at the national event. I don't remember where it was that year. he was always a threat in juniors, just as is so often the case. You just kind of have to wait your turn, let some of the more experienced juniors get out of the way, and Tyler's been playing in the men's circuit since he was probably 18 or 19 anyway. Played with his dad Jeff and Kody and Claire DeCook from Langenberg for years and years.
Jeff Hartung. Now there's another old fossil who still can curl with the best of them out on the ice. Jeff Hartung there, he was battling it out in men's provincials back when the dinosaurs used to roam.
I think Jeff was around when corn brooms were invented, so.
Heck of a player from down in southeastern Saskatchewan.
I do hope he's watching this morning.
Welcome to everybody who's tuned in this morning and watching, and unfortunately having to put up with Mark Larson and myself, Chris Heichert. Again, we are constantly with this Swift Current SaskTel Curling Stadium, doing different things that we can to see what the capabilities are of this system. And this is just one of the perks, is having a couple local donkeys such as ourselves on the microphone here commentating some curling action out on the ice. If anyone is watching this game and has access to my cell phone number and has a question you'd like to ask Mark or I, feel free to send a text to either one of us. We'll give you a shout out and hopefully answer your question for you. If the question has to do with poorly thrown out turns and heavily dumped in turns, I'm certain I'll have an answer for you, because I am one of the best at that. Silverback goes pillar to post, and Kody Hartung makes the double. But this leaves the Duke of Boar, Dustin Keltoff, an opportunity here to wrap one around that corner guard.
I think that's what you might see him do.
Question for you here, Mark. Would you ever draw the open side? That's such a long guard that if you did and Kody decided to get aggressive and wrap one around, you should have a soft weight shot for two.
And I agree with this call. It looks like that's what they're going to do. Fifth end of an 8-end game. Dustin's up one. He's in full control of the game. He wouldn't necessarily have to try and force himself into two. If he happened to come up a little bit light, Kody would be able to draw around and then force Dustin to take one. So drawing the open side is going to give him the chance to keep control of the hammer, probably blank the end and take it to an even end. So I think this is a good call.
They often talk about playing the scoreboard. And would this be a situation like that? That you're playing the scoreboard and playing for the hammer in the home end?
I think so, especially up 1 point in an odd end. Definitely being able to keep control of the hammer in the even end. You know, it's going to force Kody to get overly aggressive without last rock in the sixth end to either try and force or steal again. So this is definitely a great example of just playing the scoreboard and being in full control of the game.
I think that's too bad.
Looking like Kody Hartung is going to take call it a conservative approach. He's going to play the hit, but you better believe I think they will go extremely aggressive after this roll. And hopefully kill two birds with one stone and get one sunk here.
Chris, I just received a text from Jeff Hartung.
Uh-oh, this can't be good. I was hoping he didn't hear my dinosaur fossil comment.
I thought he might still be sleeping this morning, but looks like he made it out of bed in time to watch the boys play. But you got to be able to give the guys a little bit of a hard time, though. Kody was trying to hit and roll there. If that hangs on in the 12th foot, it'll force Dustin to make a play on it to try and blank the end.
Great try by Kody there. He definitely went aggressive after that roll. And had the Silverback there had a couple more subs or even whoppers in the system, put a little more weight on that broom, I'm certain he'd have held that.
He might have been better off going to Burger King for breakfast this morning. So Dustin will try and blank the end now. It should run straight down the sheet. They're not taking much for ice here.
Great shot by Dustin. He gets the blank and controls hammer. Coming home in the 6th end. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back shortly here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan.
A new day is upon us. Our rebrand from Crop Production Services to Nutrient Ag Solutions marks a defining moment in our storied history. Driven by renewed promise and purpose, today we're more equipped to grow our world from the ground up and serve the agricultural community than ever before. Delivering the same valued, personalized service that shaped countless trusted relationships, with access to a new, unrivaled network of business capabilities that will carry us into tomorrow. In an industry ever influenced by change and uncertainty, our continued commitment to every grower's journey will deliver new possibilities. We are partners, advocates, advisors, and stewards of success. We are Nutrient Ag Solutions.
What if you could unlock more from your kids growing up by earning rewards points when using your debit card? That's RBC Vantage. Get $300 when you switch to RBC.
Is that right?
Well, welcome back, guys, here. Just kicking off the 6th end at the Saskatchewan Men's Curling Tour Championships quarterfinal matchup between Jason Jacobson and Kody Hartung. Center guard goes up from Hartung. Jacobson looking to play the tick here.
Hartung, come on! Hartung, roll it! Keep going,
Somewhat of a tick made. I think Keltoff here has one goal in mind, and that's scoring this end. So he'd like to keep that 4-foot open if at all possible.
Yeah, he won't take too many chances here on this one. I don't think he'll, like you said, just try and keep it as clean as he can and make sure he's got a pass to the 4-foot for at least.
Mark, your screen just froze. Alrighty, speaking of fossils and saying good morning to Jeff Hartung there, I'm going to continue on the topic of fossils. Seems to be a bit of a theme this morning.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
You know what? I find myself creeping into that fossil category myself. I played 3 games yesterday, and holy moly, getting out of bed this morning was not fun. Looking across some of the sheets, it's neat to see some of the young kids that are out here, and what young kids are out here. A lot of these young kids, fossil parents, were extremely talented curlers. Dustin Keltoff's old man was one of the best. Played third stones for Doug Harcourt out of Humboldt for many years. Heck of a shooter. See Scott Manners out here. He's creeping up into that fossil category. He skipped a team at a Briar in Saskatoon. What else do we got for fossils out here? Glider. He's got to have a fossil old man out there at somewhere, doesn't he? Did Dean Glider played with Brian Humble for many years, I think.
Played with Brian Humble, and Brian Humble used to play with Max Kirkpatrick way back. I think Brian used to live down this way, so I think they curled together for probably 10 years anyway, if not more. We might have to ask some of the fossils you're talking about to comment on that one.
Brian Humble, that was a talented curler. You know, one of the best ever in Saskatchewan, to always at provincials and always did extremely well, but could never just win that big one, get himself that green jacket in the men's ranks.
Yeah, he was definitely one of Saskatchewan's best for many years, making his way around the senior circuit now with I think Jake and Quinn Hersecorn's dad, Terry. I think he's on that team.
Terry played second for Brian Humble for a lot of years. I know I went toe-to-toe with them back in the day, and yeah, they were one heck of a team. I think it was Brian Humble, Dean Glider, Terry Hersecorn, and Kerry Tarasoff, who is down in Assiniboia doing the Saskatchewan Ladies Scotties. And I believe that's kicked off this morning, the semifinal. Who do we got queued up in the semifinal in that, Mark?
Semifinal in Assiniboia this morning. Amber Holland was going to be playing Penny Barker. Penny and her team from, I believe they curl out of Moose Jaw. They played Chelsea Carey in the A versus B page playoff last night. Came right down to the 10th end. Penny had a chance for 4 points in the 9th end, but ended up only getting 3 to tie she was down 3 points at the time as well, so she only ended up getting 3, and Chelsea had to draw the button in the 10th end to win. So, and then Amber won her game against former champion Robin Silvernagel last night, so setting up the semifinal this morning. I believe the final goes at 3 o'clock down there.
Well, look out, Sean Joyce. If Mark and if the ratings start skyrocketing here for us with our debut commentating, look out, Sean Joyce. Here we come. They're clearing women and children out of the way on this one in the back. I see here. You got to stick in the rings.
Back of the 8 foot. He does have one guarded. About 9 o'clock on the other side. It's going to force Dustin into a decision here if he wants to ignore everything and just try and generate his 2 points now. still does have a path on the intern side coming this way to the 4-foot to be able to score, but there is that red guard on the outturn side that would get in the way.
Looking across the sheets here, we do have one final, quarterfinal. Gamble versus Meacham. Meacham was hot this morning. They laid the boots to Gamble, stealing a couple more. I think they took a big end and then steal. She was handshakes after 4 ends. Sean Meacham has advanced to the semifinals. Pistol here from Jake, grappling one around. Top 8-foot, buried.
One is completely undercover. Force Kody to move that one, try and sit on the corner a little bit maybe. Plays it soft enough, you can probably get to a corner of it anyway.
Max Kirkpatrick in a world of hurt. Down a mittful to Ryan Dice and in trouble here. Coming home in the 6th end. I'm good, thanks.
Looks like Kelly Knapp is in full control of his game on sheet 2 against Rylan Kleider. 7-2 after 5 ends.
I'd like to thank Team Kirkpatrick for, they were a last-minute entry into this. We had COVID actually had to bump a team out of the spiel, and to keep it full last minute, we were able to round up these geriatrics to throw together their senior men's team, and they were worried about getting their butts kicked out here, and it's been quite the opposite. They've qualified, they've been playing real well.
Easy line, whoa.
But this morning it looks like it's past their nap times, because Team Ryan Dice is kind of taking it to them here in the quarterfinal.
Tyler Hartung made a pretty nice shot, removing the Kaltoff stone, at least from the 8-foot, to sit first and second shot. Jake tried to come around the guard again, came a little deep. So the force is on if Kody can keep the rocks separated a little bit, and I don't know what he'll decide to play here. He could freeze. He could tap it out the back and sit 3. The only problem with these rocks is they're all behind the tee line, so they're not really helping Kody at all either. It would give, if he taps it out the back, that would give Dustin a chance to come down and move those back a little bit, create a yellow wall there. Watching the brothers discuss this shot, sometimes I don't know how much they agree and how much they disagree, but at the end of the day, Kody sometimes puts the broom down, and that's what they go with.
Looking like a full powwow here, though. The boys are coming down to have a little bit of a discussion. Silverback coming down, wondering what time Burger King opens at.
I was just wondering if anybody brought Whoppers in their curling bags this morning. What's your call here, Chris? Do you like the tap? Do you like freezing to that red one?
So Here's my thoughts. I believe Kelthoff has what he wants, and he has that 4 foot open right now to draw to get his 1. I think that's his goal, is to get his 1. So even if you freeze, Kelthoff probably still going to get his 1. So personally, I like playing a hit on that one and line 3. You're going to exchange some stones, but I think if you can ideally be line 2 or 3 when Kelthoff comes to throw his last one, you're just hoping for a miss or a mistake, possibly stealing 2 or 3, putting that pressure on. So I kind of like removing this in line 3, but a nice freeze is a great shot to it. Really cuts those rings down as well.
And this will really be more of a, I mean, obviously the weight has to be there, but this is definitely more of a line shot, because you would want to get right to the face of it if you could. This one doesn't have any extra weight on it. They'd still like to be shot rock if they could. I think that's a pretty nice shot.
Definitely, I don't think you can remove that yellow, and it cuts down the rings here a little bit, makes the scoring area a little smaller. All the viewers tuning in, we've been treated to some fabulous curling here in Swift Current at the Saskatchewan Men's Tour Players Championship this weekend. It's great to see all our top men teams tweaking. They're all getting ready for men's provincials, which comes up in, is it 2 weeks time, Mark?
About a month from now, February 9th to the 13th, I believe, at the Cooperator Center in Regina. First time Regina's had the provincial in, dare I say, 30 years. Would that be true?
You know what, and I'm going to go with that. Yeah, I know it's been a long time since Regina has hosted it. That Cooperator Center is a beautiful facility, so. Darren Gress will be making the ice with Jason Broughton for the men's provincials, I'm assuming.
Same group that they would normally have. They always do a fantastic job with the ice for the provincials. It's never anything short of fantastic to curl on. They get her moving 14 and a half, 15 seconds, curling 5 feet, so kind of looks like we might have time for a coffee break here, Chris.
Yeah, there's a bit of discussion going on down there. East, I think if you're red, you got to corner freeze that one, don't you? And you're almost looking at possibly getting 2 if you make a real good one.
You could, if you keep the angle right, for sure. Looks like he's maybe even trying to maybe play a double, but both of those are going to be, he's going to come off his red one on the outside, but both of those would still be behind the tee line. And then that would allow Kody to freeze again on a shot that he just threw, so.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm sold on this shot, but there's a reason they're out there and I'm up here, but I'm not sure I'm a fan of this.
Well, this will force Kody to make a good one. If he makes a good one, it'll be a force or a steal, but this is...
My thoughts are, even if he makes this perfect, there's a wall of red to now come down and freeze to again. Right. Which Kelthoff has played this whole end to have that in turn draw out to the 4 foot to get his 1, and I think he would be more than happy with his 1. But a small hiccup here, and he could be looking at drawing against a couple, which I believe is Hartung's goal here.
Yeah, he has to hit this right. Probably a thin half to make this. Looks like he's throwing the out turn at it. So roll a little flatter coming off the face of the red one, but anything thin and Kody will draw around that corner again into the 4 foot. that was too thin, so now Kody's going to probably be able to draw and bite the 4 foot anyway and sit 2. Wonder if we have Jason Jacobson watching this morning, if what his thoughts on that call would have been. But
the Yak, yeah, text us in here, Yak, if you're watching, tuning in live, listening to us. I never even realized I haven't ripped you at all if you are tuned in, so let me know so I can lay into you a little bit if you're tuned in watching your team here. Jason will be rolling over in his grave there, I think, if he saw that last shot. I'm kind of caught here. I'm in a Sask Men's Tour Players Championship draft with a few buddies, and I have both Hartung and Team Jacobson. I should be getting a point here one way or another, but I'm going to lose a pony as well. So.
Line looks pretty good on this one. If they can get the weight right, they might have to curl it a bit. Got to get the angle right. That's a perfect shot from Kody right there. That's going to make Kaltoff's draw just that much more difficult. Full 4 foot would do it, but in the 6th end of the game, sometimes that 4 foot doesn't look all that big.
Well, I do know Kaltoff would have been happy at the start of an end with 1 point here coming home, and he left himself this draw all end. Now it's just a matter of executing.
That's a matter of executing, that's right.
I think Team Hartung's more than happy with making him draw against 2 rocks that are in the 4 foot. We have another final out there. Ryan Dice stole another one in the 5th. Make that a final, 7-2 after 6 ends of play. Ryan Dice over Max Kirkpatrick, and Team Dice is on to the semifinals.
Final stone of the 6th end coming here.
Just a heavy clean from the boys for now. Line looks good.
Weight looks fine. Right to the button.
Nice shot
from Kaltoff.
Dustin Kaltoff puts it on the button for his 1 in the 6th end to go up 4-2. You're watching the action at the Saskatchewan Men's Tour Player Championship here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan.
Coming through for you during these uncertain times. When the unexpected happens, choose Winmar Property Restoration Specialist to safely restore your property. With over 90 locations, we provide restoration and rebuild services for residential and commercial properties across Canada. With a professional team, responsive 24-hour services, and specialized equipment, we will work with you every step of the way until your project is complete.
Pair up super fast internet and incredible TV for applause-worthy savings.
Hi, I'm Kurt, and at Flamin, we offer a variety of services to keep your trailer road safe and road ready. Whether it's trailer maintenance, an inspection, a repair, warranty, or upgrades, you can trust our accredited locations to give you the service you need. So whatever your trailer needs are, we've got you covered. Contact your local Flamin dealer to see how we can help you today.
All right, kicking off the 7th end here. We got a center guard went up, corner guard goes up, and now Quinn Hurstcorn trying to wrap one top 4 foot here around his center guard. Team Jacobson with a 4-2 lead over Team Kody Hartung. Doing some scoreboard watching here. Kelly Knapp is up 7-2 for Team Kleider, and I think Kleider will be starting the car here shortly. He's in a world of hurt playing the 6th end here.
Right only right now. Good line.
Mr. Kendall trying to wrap one around his corner guard.
Curl then, curl please.
Team Hartung will be going all out for a deuce this end if possible.
Gotta go wait too. Yeah, gotta go wait too.
Great thing about the 5 rock rule is plenty of guards can go up and can't be hit, and it allows for a lot of rocks to get into play so that we have some interesting ends. Excellent shot from Quinn there. Picking that one out from behind the corner guard and rolling to the top of the 4 foot. That with the score, 4 out of 4 on the scorecard for that shot.
Got the 2.
I wasn't sure how Kody would approach this end, if he would have maybe tried the triple down the center there. Maybe try and blank the end, take the last rock to the 8th end and try and get his 2 or even possibly 3, but looks like he's going to try and generate something here in 7. It's a pretty good shot from Jaden right there.
Yeah, great shot. That one can't be removed, so Kaltoff's going to lob one on there, and here we go. We're in a ball game. Another final to quickly report to you. Team Knapp defeated Team Kleider after 6 ends of play. And our feature game, Jacobson versus Hartung, is the only one left remaining out on the ice.
Right up the curl a little bit.
So Chris, we've got a bit of an update for you. Jason Jacobson just texted in and said, I almost puked when the broom went down for the in-off. So I guess that gives us our answer as to what he thought about that one. Jason's never been one to mince words, so that's about what we expected.
Well, good morning to you, Jacobson, and thanks for tuning in.
There may be a Jacobson team meeting after this event. Jaden's a little light and tight on that one maybe, but it seems to have straightened out for him a little bit, trying to hit and roll behind the corner.
Had to stick the shooter on that one.
Definitely had to make sure the shooter was there. They were on it early out of his hand to straighten it out a little bit.
Bit of a sweeping error there on that one, which hurts, but the yellow one's still in a good spot, so still some opportunity here to come. Jake's being asked to lock one on that yellow one, just on the inside if possible.
Okay, don't touch it then. No need to. No need to. Are you just froze or are you bumping? Curl it.
Line looks okay on this one. Jake might have to try and carve it a bit. Looks like a pretty good shot though.
Didn't quite get to the inside, but there's a chance that could do the trick.
There's lots of room by the guard there. Kody might try and get a little bit to the inside on this if he can. Just move the rocks around in the 4-foot and keep an angle on the red that Jake just threw there. This is Tyler's first in the 7th end here. Probably just trying for T-line, back 4 weight.
Oh, what a pistol.
Boy, that's a great shot from Tyler. He made about as good as he could, I think.
You know, the theme of today has kind of been old fossils, and you know what? I'm just going to go out there and say Jason Jacobson needs to go into that category. For crying out loud. How old this guy got to be before he realizes it's time to hang him up? Luckily for me, I knew at a nice young early age. Enough was enough, and I hung him up. Speaking of fossils, I got the Max Kirkpatrick team upstairs here giving me a rough time. Sounds like word got back to them that I was calling them fossils, and they don't look like they're overly impressed with me right now. You know, Team Kirkpatrick, them are the good old boys when curling was done right. Win or lose, straight to the lounge.
Straight to the lounge. Come up and have a drink, socialize a bit. Smile on their faces. Tylenol in their bellies.
Yeah, nowadays she's protein shakes and pre-workout juice. Max has always been a great winner and a great loser. He'll come up and have a drink with you regardless. Bit of a discussion here now on this shot.
It's hard to say what the best shot is here. It might be time to maybe double peel the centers, try and open up the 4-foot a little bit. There's no real direct way to get at that yellow one on the top of the button.
Any update, Mark, on any of the Saskatchewan Scotties going on? Has that game started already?
I believe it started at 10 o'clock. I heard 1-0 was the score. I didn't know who it was for though.
I think this is the best.
Look at that. Max comes off the ice, and now he's giving us scoring updates. He's doing it all today. So 1-0 for Holland in the Saskatchewan Women's Provincial Semi-Final. Winner of that'll play Chelsea Carey this afternoon. Jaden Schwag is starting to pace a little bit. He can probably taste that post-game whopper by now.
What's the Duke of Boer got up his sleeve here? I think he's just wanting to freeze to the inside of that red. Is that the play?
Freeze the inside of the red. Which is really tough just because that court isn't real big.
I'd like to give you less ice to play the T-line bump.
But I guess he doesn't have last rock, so he's kind of got the forefoot closed off a little bit. But he might he might just be trying to corner freeze the top yellow one, which would take away any chance to get to the inside of that red one on the top of the four.
Okay, line's good now. Whoa. Line's good. Whoa.
Well, the lounge is starting to fill up here. The boys are having a few beers. It's not too early to be drinking beers, is it?
I don't think it's ever too early to come up and enjoy a cold one.
That was a pistol, I believe. They got that lemon surrounded there now.
I think that even touched the top of the yellow, or the back side of the top yellow in the 12-foot there.
I'm going to watch the replay here. We got the live screens up in the lounge, screen behind every sheet, and a bit of a delay, so we get the opportunity to watch the replay. I'll tell you here in a second whether that tickled it or not. Some legs were in the way, but it actually did look like it tickled the back of that yellow.
I don't know what Kody might try here now. Might have to start thinking about moving some granite around.
Yeah, if you hit just a hair high side, there's a chance you can kill both guards and still have two yellows in the rings, which I think is the goal once this shot's done, is to still have two yellows in the rings.
About 7/8 of a rock will get this one moving. It got to curl a bit. It's a little too thin. That changes things a little bit, but there's a good chance Dustin will just maybe replace the guard, or he might start trying to tap things back to really create a good angle on that rock on the button.
Discussion time here again for Team Jacobson. Do you ever try to hit your red and lose that yellow and lie 3?
You definitely could. The catch, I think, would be to make sure that the shooter gets out of the way a little bit too. It happened to stay. It happened to stay in the 8-foot. Kody might be able to come back off of it and underneath everything again.
You know, we talked about this before, Mark, but I think it comes down to playing the scoreboard again and what's the goal, and forcing yellow to 1 might be a great end for Jacobson. So maybe playing the shot that does their best job to force. I think if you try to promote that red to lie 3, it's a great shot, but now you're just opening things up for Kody a little bit, and right now it's sitting real good for red to get a force.
And I agree with that right now, like you said, the point of this end for Dustin would have been to force, and he's basically taken away every opportunity that Kody would have to get a second point. So maybe that would mean that the guard would be the right call here. I didn't really see if they indicated what they were actually going to throw here, but to me it looks like they'd be throwing a center guard.
He's got to wait for a tap back here on this.
No, the one sweeping. Right.
Well, that's a bit of a miss there. Still not sure what Hartung has. Those angles just are not great for him. And he's desperately trying to score a deuce here in this end.
He definitely wants to try and find a way to get two. I think he might be able to play a nose on the one that Kalthoff just threw and kill 2, maybe 3 of the reds and leave both of his yellows in play, except they both might be exposed then. Not really a lot of good options.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in and watching the curling action on our live streaming, SaskTel Swift Current Curling Stadium. Shout out to Jerry Gertz, Curling Zone, John Benton, Rory McCusker, James Gordon, and all the team here that is putting together this live feed. Another thing I can throw out to the viewers is they're constantly playing around and seeing some of the different things we're able to do with this system, and always looking for people interested in commentating curling games. If you're ever at all interested in commentating for one of your favorite curling teams that's playing in a facility that has the SaskTel Curling Stadium, reach out to Curling Zone, Jerry Gertz. He would get you on the mic, and who knows, with a little bit of success, you may be the next Vic Router. And one thing's for sure, I am not.
A couple feet slower than it was before.
So Chris, just to bring you up to date, another message in from Jason Jacobson. He was just wondering how your game went against Max last night.
But credit's got to be given. It was excellent to see Team Kirkpatrick and his senior men's team, who ultimately entered this event here to kind of save the bacon and fill the spiel with the 16th team. And they went on to qualify, which is awesome for them. I think they got out of this weekend what they wanted to, and that was to get some reps in so that they're ready to go for the senior provincials being held in, I believe, Aberdeen. It is unfortunate to see some events being canceled due to the pandemic and the state that we're currently in. There was a senior men's qualifier scheduled next weekend in Swift Current that just recently got canceled. We're kind of seeing that across the nation. Provincial associations and some big events being canceled. The Scotties, we have yet to see any of the Briar playdowns canceled, but I'm sure that'll be on tap next. And it makes a guy wonder if the Olympics are even going to go ahead. What's your thoughts on that, Mark?
Well, I know it's been talked about for quite a while here, you know, with the new variant coming out and nobody really knowing what it all means yet, even though we've been in this for the better part of 2 years again. It's hard to really say what'll come next, because it seems like things just change by the day. So I hope the Olympics do go forward. It'll definitely be different for all the athletes with no fans allowed and everything like that. But you know, when it comes to curling, you put 4 years of effort into it, or in some cases even longer, and you know, to have it taken away from you would be pretty difficult. So for their sake, I do hope they're allowed to go, and you know, everybody's probably, you know, doing everything they can to stay safe. So as long as they're doing that, I do believe that the decision should still be up to them if they do want to go.
We just throw a guard here. Oh, he just, I guess, taunts this. Okay, make it. Do it out. Okay. Dead noise.
Throwing a hard one here to try and get rid of a couple of yellows, but
he's able to pick one out, but leaves one yellow one there buried. This should leave Kody Hartung a hit and stick for a deuce here in the 7th end to tie things up if this shot's made.
I think with the way this game started for Kody and his team, if you would have told them maybe in the 2nd or 3rd end that they'd be tied up playing 8, I think they'd take it. So they've definitely battled back here in the latter half of this game to make it go the distance. So if he makes this, we'll have a tie game playing the 8th end. Not throwing it too hard here, just kind of a board weight type shot. It's been one of the straighter spots on the sheet the whole game, so definitely need to get to nose here, and it looks like they have. Couldn't afford to roll anywhere, so.
This is RBC. This is also RBC. This is definitely RBC. This too. Some people think RBC is still like this, but that's just not the case. This is what we actually look like. This is how many people work at RBC, and these are some of the places they work. This is RBC volunteering at Race for the Kids. People here volunteer a lot, not because they have to, but because they want to make a difference. like here, and here, and here. This is an RBC hackathon. This is one of the ways RBC creates new and exciting futures. These are some RBC employees at work. With unique challenges, they're constantly unlocking their potential, except for when they're taking a break. This is them doing just that. This is recognized year over year as the Global Retail Bank of the Year and one of Canada's best diversity employers. Most importantly, this is Paul Washa, and you could sit next to Paul Washa if you were to join us. She's hilarious. This is RBC. Let's work together.
It's time to give your old phones a fresh start. When you donate your old phones at a SaskTel store, we put phones and phone cards into the hands of people in transition shelters fleeing domestic abuse and youth transitioning out of social services care. Be the reason behind someone's fresh start. Learn more at sasktel.com/fresh start.
Well, welcome back here, guys, for the end of the last sheet left out on the ice. In the quarterfinals here, Team Jacobson versus Team Hartung. Center guard goes up, and Quinn tried the tick. And he hit her a little tick as well.
A little tick.
Cody's going to ask Brady to put a nice tight guard up, utilizing the 5 rock rule. Again, thank you.
A little bit for line. Gotta go line. Hard line. Good, good, good. Line's really good. Good shot. Quiet, blitz. Yep. Yep. Hartung. Gotta go. Right up. Come on. Gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta go, buddy. Balance it. Hard, hard, looks heavy. Straight. Half a rock, thick half, thin half. What ice do you think you need, Quinn? Yep. Yep. Whoa. 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 Nice shot. That'll be a 1 now.
You like this, Jake?
Chris, I'm not leaving you hanging, am I? Had some technical difficulty. I wonder what happened.
You guys able to hear me?
Line's good. Line's nice.
Can you hear me too?
Well, that's great. Some technical difficulties here, folks. A little quiet. I was just discussing on just how old Jason Jacobson actually really is. Maybe he just needed a weekend off here. But the Duke of Bora has taken the teams under his reign and doing quite well. They've qualified and they have Hammer coming home here in the quarterfinal with a wide open house.
Yeah.
I think Dusty wants that intern draw to the button. He's seen that, have his draw weight. He knows that path. The boys have kept it clean for him.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
That's a pistol by Jake.
Real nice shot.
Persicorn there. Because now Kody is going to have to make a play of some sort on it. It's kind of in the way.
He might draw first. At least get one in there.
Bit of discussion here. What's your thoughts here, Mark, on this? Do you straight freeze? They blast, you come around the corner? Do you come around the corner to lie one?
Yeah, the ideal scenario would be to, maybe try and have one bird and, another one on the center line to take the drop path away. Making the straight freeze is real tough because if it's not made perfect, Dustin might be able to just pick it out, and then Kody has to, try to hit and roll, and that'll leave Dustin the whole 4 foot. But this is probably the harder of the two shots.
What's he playing here? Just kind of a chap and lie, if you will?
Based on that, I would think he's just throwing the straight freeze.
You got something coming, Mark, if you think edge of the 4-foot is the right ice to put a freeze on that puppy.
He might be trying to straight come around.
I think he's playing a little chap here on this chap and roll. That would be the right ice for that shot. Line's good for a freeze. Might be a little warm here.
I think I might have been right the whole time. So that's going to make it real tough now for Kody to be able to stick one in a spot that it can't be easily removed.
Nose hit would make things interesting. You know, I think you want to roll in front of your red a little bit. If you straight nose hit, Kody can come off the one on the tee line and kind of roll, and now you're having to play a short little run back. Granted, it's only going to be inches away.
Yeah, I think you'd want to sit on the nose on this one. You don't want to really roll away. If you roll too far, then you can play the one on the tee line and roll behind the guard. I agree.
Again,
nose hit on the center line one would be a good spot.
Again, thank you everybody for tuning in, watching the live streaming SaskTel Curling Stadium here in Swift Current. Swift Current is one of the few facilities in the world that has installed over 24 high-definition pan-tilt zoom cameras throughout the facility. Bring you this live streaming action. We stream every single game, every single rock thrown in this club all season long. Whether it's the Tuesday Night Men's League, whether it's the Wednesday Open League, or whether it's the Monday Buffalo Brew Pub Beer League. We're live streaming all the action.
No shortage of weight on this one. Looks like he's got a nice one though. So that'll force Kody to come off the rock on the tee line, maybe tap it an inch, or remove it, roll behind and hold.
Rumor has it there was another $50 million Lotto 649 winner in Saskatoon. That's got to be about the third one in the last couple months of some Saskatoonian walking away extremely happy.
Which side do you want to roll under? Do you want to roll?
I think in order for Hartung to win this game, he's going to have to get about as lucky as the most recent multi-millionaire in Saskatoon.
So I think they're going to try to just hack weight on the red stone, on the tee line, try and roll back 4 foot, maybe show an inch out the other side. Very difficult to get this right. There's really only one spot to roll to. It is close though. Curled up too much, so felt off. Open hit to win the game, doesn't have to hold the shooter.
You know, I think he was looking for 3 more inches of roll, and that would have been a pistol. But
Been a real good shot.
he shot rock and making the Duke aboard. Dustin Keltoff here have to make this one go away for a big win. Quarterfinal action. We will be back live again in less than 45 minutes to bring to you the semifinals. Please tune in. Quinn's on the brush. He's pillar to post. Just a clean now. And he makes the yellow go away. It's a big 2 points for Team Jacobson and the win in quarterfinal action. Thank you to everybody tuning in. I'd like to thank Mark Larson for joining me here today on the broadcast. Hope you all enjoyed it. Tune back in for the semifinals. Take care, everybody out there, and have a good rest of your Sunday.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
It's time to give your old phones a fresh start. When you donate your old phones at a SaskTel store, we put phones and phone cards into the hands of people in transition shelters fleeing domestic abuse and youth transitioning out of social services care. Be the reason behind someone's fresh start.